this program. Viewer discretion is advised.
You're listening to Odyssey, A Tale from the Road, an audiobook by Christopher Cologne. All rights reserved. Any resemblance to persons living or dead are purely coincidental.
Chapter 34. After pleasantries were exchanged, I invited Minerva to my car. It wasn't big, but it was bigger than her hatchback. Since this pleasure and not business, it seemed to make more sense that I do the driving. I was too apprehensive to get into her car. In my car I could control the environment, and I couldn't really trust Minerva to be the getaway driver in case things get sticky. She wasn't a bad driver, but she didn't function well under pressure. I would prefer to rely on myself, than on a well-meaning, yet panicky, friend. I'm so happy to see you, Andy. After you disappeared, I got so worried. Especially, when I heard that the whale was out to get you. Honestly, I thought you were dead. I know how ruthless Arnie could be. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw you up on that stage. I was you, no doubt, but you looked different. Yet I survived, a little worse for the wear. So much has changed. I don't know how to move on, with so many unresolved issues. I said. The weight of the words had started to really sink in, now that I were saying them out loud. I really had no plans for tomorrow. I was living for today, and running away from the mistakes of yesterday. Minerva had gotten very serious. I have some inside information. Arnie's men and some of the cops on his payroll are going to be at the stadium. They're going to be looking for you. I just found this out and I had no time to warn you, with a letter, any sooner. I had to wait until now to tell you. Well then, what the hell am I doing here? I need to get out of town before I regret it. Minerva grabbed my arm. She looked deeply into my eyes. Andy, you have to go concert. I had to pull a lot of strings to make the arrangements for this night. Just trust me on this, please. I promise I won't let anything bad happen to you. I couldn't believe what she was saying. Look, I appreciate the gesture, but the last time I checked, you aren't bulletproof. Arnie's men are out to kill me. They want to put in the ground once and for all. They would have completed their mission if I wasn't in an old school steel Cadillac that deflected their bullets. Let's not mention how they almost got me at the casino. Andy, my brother, and I have been waiting for tonight. All the pieces will come together, and we'll be able to solve a lot of people's problems tonight. We just need to sneak you into the stadium safely. I was exhausted. Minerva was not going to take no as an answer. Okay, so let's say I go along with your plan. There's no way you can guarantee my safety, and I'll be walking directly into harm's way. I should just go now. She ignored everything I just said. Do you have something to wear that could disguise your appearance? She reached into my backseat with her long arms and started rifling through my belongings. She pulled out Eddie's Misfits hoodie. This is perfect, as she held it up victoriously. And what do you suppose I do with that? I asked, afraid to get a real answer. I knew what was coming. You'll put on the sweatshirt and wear the hood over your head. Your face will still show, but it will keep you disguised for the most part. Nobody would be able to identify you, unless they were looking directly at your face. This is sweatshirt weather, so it's not like you'll be standing out. I said sarcastically, and nobody will find it odd that I'm wearing a hood. She shot right back, Andy, this is a heavy metal crowd. In between all the leather, denim, and the spikes, a person wearing a hood will hardly attract any real attention. I couldn't argue with her logic. All right, I give up. I'll go to the stadium. Where's your brother, by the way? He's coming in, from out of town, later, with the big surprise of the night. She said cryptically. I'm sure, it will all make sense in due time. I added, I didn't know you two were related. Small world, huh? Well, after you disappeared, I mentioned it to my brother. He didn't know that I was such a big fan of yours. He told me that he had seen you shorty before you disappeared. And once I saw you at the Calypso Lounge, I knew exactly what needed to be done. It's just a shame that it has to be on a night like tonight, when Gateway Drug are putting on their farewell performance. For some reason, I was reminded of family gatherings. Some families have reunions or traditions of meeting on the holidays. Not my family. We only got together for weddings and funerals. Tonight was going to be like that. We, meaning me, Minerva, and her brother Stephen, the postman, were having a bit of our own personal family reunion tonight, at the funeral for Gateway Drug. Minerva and I had grabbed a bite to eat at my favorite local pizza parlor. It brought back tons of memories just walking up to the counter to make my order. In the past, my friends and I hung out at this place countless times after school. It was the best pizza in the world, and tasting it confirmed to me that I was home. This wasn't a hallucination or a weird dream. I was home and I had a lot of loose ends to tie up. Before I walked into the pizza parlor, I put on Eddie's hoodie. I had no idea who would be looking for me, so I decided it was no time like the present, to start disguising myself. The old man working behind the counter, his name was Eugene, was too busy preparing food, to notice that I was wearing a hood when I walked into the parlor. But, he did recognize me, the instant I placed my order. I had ordered 2 slices with extra cheese and anchovies. As soon as I told him the order, the old man behind the counter came out of his automatic days of making pies. That order had made him aware of my presence. He looked up to make eye contact with me. Squinting, he was jogging his memory to place my face to that unusual order. "Andy?" Eugene asked, unbelieving. The old man knew me. He knew my whole family. God only knows how many pizzas he has prepared for me and my family in the past. Eugene knew my father, back when they were kids growing up in Ithaca. Everybody knew each other around here. Every relationship meant that you were also acquainted with the person's whole family. You knew where they worked, where they worshipped, where they went to school, everything. Gossip went around quickly. A little too quickly for my tastes. I felt bad just for the sake of the poor sap that was the focus of the gossip. Sometimes the rumors were false and everybody knew about it before the person could initiate damage control and retractions. Eugene recognized me. I hadn't been trying hard enough to disguise myself. How soon would it be before other people took notice that I had returned home? "Hi Eugene," I couldn't even attempt to deceive to the old man. It would be like trying to lie to own grandfather. The fun grandfather, the one that would give you money when your parents weren't looking and tell you to go and spend that money on all the candy you can buy. Eugene treated all the kids of Ithaca like his own. We were the children of his old classmates and friends. Over the years, he has given away ridiculous amounts of free pizza slices to the citizens of Ithaca. And along with all that pizza, he had also given out slices of priceless advice to the kids that hung out in his parlor. Some kids didn't have a father and Eugene was the closest and best suited replacement. Eugene handed me the slice of pizza, that I gladly chomped down on. He said, "Andy, I didn't know you were back in town." Not showing any kind of manners, I answered him with my mouth full of pizza and scolding hot cheese, "Nobody knows I'm back." I chewed some more. This was my first stop. I hope he understood the compliment that I was trying to imply. This was just as much home as my own house. "Andy, your mother is worried sick." When people found out that Raphael got killed, everybody was concerned about the rest of you guys. With Arnie Ellis going after you and your bandmates, we thought you would all end up somewhere dead on the side of the road. If he only knew how accurate that statement almost was. I had to go into hiding for a little while. I needed to get my mind straight. I'm home now. But, I'm not ready to let the world that I'm back. You won't tell anybody you saw me, will you, Eugene? The look in his eyes said it all. Worried and panicked, he didn't want to say yes. He wanted to respect my wishes, but he also wanted to let my mother know I was home to ease her anxiety. I wasn't a little boy anymore. I was a man. The past couple of months had aged me greatly. "I'll make you a promise." He looked as if he was devising a plan. "I won't say anything to anybody. But, you have to promise me that you will go and visit your mother the first opportunity you get. Or you will never be allowed in my parlor ever again. And I know how much you love my pizza," he said, smiling, yet every bit as serious as a threat. He meant business. "I promise, Eugene. You know I could never lie to you. There's some things I have to take care of before I can go home. I don't want to bring any unnecessary drama along with me when I show my face." "I understand," he said. "So you're going to the concert tonight, aren't you?" For an old man, he was pretty hip. "Yeah, I wouldn't miss this for the world," I answered. "Neither would a lot of people from around here. It seems like the whole damn town is going to that concert." I knew those kids when they were growing up. It was good to see some local kids make good. And that Penny, I knew she'd grow up to be a heartbreaker. Life moves on, I guess. It's a shame to see it all come to an end," he said, resigned. Not I have anything say about it, I said. Even I wasn't exactly aware what I was talking about. But I knew something big was going to happen tonight. There was an intangible eagerness in my gut. I was on the edge of a revelation. All I had to do was dive in. Minerva had sat quietly at a one-parlor tables during this exchange. I got her 2 slices and paid for our order. Eugene told me to take care. I knew he was concerned for my safety, and I had to keep that in mind. I knew he would keep his word about not telling anybody that he saw me. It put him in a quandary. He was a father. I knew how hard it would be for him to hold on to that information of my whereabouts, while my mother sat home worried. He could relieve a burden of guilt, by just making a quick phone call to my mom and just insist on telling her that I was alive and safe, one parent to another. He wouldn't have to give any details, as much as she would have pressed for them. He wasn't going to, because he was a man of his word. I knew it killed him a little bit inside, and I felt bad to put him in this predicament. I had to keep my end of the bargain. Sometime in the next 24 hours, my mother will know that her baby boy is alive and safe. Well, that's if I survive tonight.
Please visit twostrangersonePodcast.net.